What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the very first episode of Thai Clinch MMA, your home for all combat culture. I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm Matt on your Pound for Pound podcast.
And are we starting our show off with an amazing UFC card? We've got UFC 323 taking place this weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada, where it'll be headlined by Merab Dvalishvili and Petr Yan.
Merab looks to defend his title for the fourth time against the formidable and familiar Petr Yan.
That's right. These two have already seen each other once in the octagon, and Merab got the win. And with that being said, let's see how these two stack up in the tail of the tape. When you look at a guy like Merab, he's 34 years old and he only stands at 5 foot 5 inches tall. But that has never mattered for him to be the king of the 135-pound bantamweight division, where he's out there swinging with a 68-inch reach.
And similarly, you have Petr Yan, 32 years old, 5 foot 6 inches tall, 135-pound bantamweight with a slight reach disadvantage at 67 inches. But I tell you what, Devin, on paper, I love this fight.
On paper, this fight is very close, and as many of you may know, they've already seen each other in the octagon once before, where Merab got the win. So it'll be really interesting to see what Petr Yan does this time around against the machine. That's what they've been calling Merab, and he has earned every bit of that nickname. He's on a 9-fight win streak right now, and these aren't wins against just tomato cans. He's out there beating the best of the best, the most formidable opponents in the sport. He beat triple champ Henry Cejudo, He's beaten Jose Aldo, and he took the belt from Sean O'Malley, who was the UFC's rising star before he was faced up against Merab.
But let's not forget Petr Yan is a former champion, and he's seen Merab in the ring before. He has hit a rough patch with a disqualification knee against Aljamain Sterling, a decision lost against Sugar Sean O'Malley, and a decision lost against none other than Merab. But we're looking to turn the corner here. We've got back-to-back wins against Figueiredo, and he beat Yadong.
Speaking of beating Yadong, Dana White just unveiled the first fights of the new year, the very first bouts under the Paramount deal. Sean O'Malley was quick to jump on social media reacting to the announcement of his fight with Song Yadong, posting a photo with the caption, "I don't beat my dong, but I will beat Yadong." Stay tuned until the end of the episode. We've got a little preview of our next show where we'll be breaking all of this down in detail.
And he really needed that win against Song Yadong.
That's right.
That put Petr Yan on a 2-fight win streak, and the stars sort of aligned for this fight to happen. Aljamain Sterling moved up to the featherweight division.
But let's be honest, we weren't going to see a fight against Merab and Aljamain anytime soon. These guys are legitimate buddies. Merab moved closer to Aljamain so that they could train more often in Las Vegas.
In fact, Merab has changed his full-time residency to Las Vegas and lives next door to Aljamain Sterling. Merab looks up to this guy on a completely different level and credits Aljo for all of his success in the UFC. So they weren't going to fight. He already defended against Sean O'Malley, Corey Sandhagen, and Umar Nurmagomedov all this year, by the way. So this is Petr Yan's chance. Now's his time.
And he's going to show up with a point to prove. He knows this fight was getting further and further away, and he was being overlooked. So he's going to show up with all of his technical ability and a chip on his shoulder.
That's right. Let's see what it's going to take for each of these guys to come out with the win on Saturday night. For Merab, the game plan should be pretty straightforward. Just keep being Merab. Keep being this explosive fighter that improves and evolves every time he sets out to perform. We're probably going to see a lot of early chaos from Merab. And if I were him, I would try to work the clinch and keep Petr up against the cage. Anything I could to stop him from getting a rhythm early.
Yeah, Petr's a momentum fighter, and he's going to need to take you into those later rounds. He needs to build a rhythm and get into that flow state. He's got really slick boxing, but Merab has a tendency to try to get you to wear him like a backpack. We're going to need to sprawl and do everything we can to avoid those takedowns.
And he has seen these takedowns before. The first time that these two met, Merab attempted 49 takedown attempts, the most in any UFC match to this day. And he was only able to get off 11, which sounds like a decent number, but when you're attempting 49 to only get off 11, that means Petr had to defend 38 of those. So he's seen this before. If I'm Petr, I'm going to make Merab pay. Counter-strike, 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 and get his boxing going.
Yeah, and Merab, trying to catch him is like trying to put a honey badger in a pillowcase. It is pure chaos, insanity. I'm not even sure if he knows what he's going to do. Petr's going to have to stay slick, stay smooth, stay away from the takedown, and make sure you let those hands go. Show him that you are that technical boxer that people are trying to forget about.
Petr showing up with the chip on his shoulder and going to take back what's his. Merab isn't willing to give it up. He's been enjoying this championship lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Every single clip I've seen on social media is him either dancing with a bunch of girls or dancing with other champions or out just having fun. He's living in the moment and living for the moment.
He's a really fun champion, and he's not ready to give up the belt yet. This fight's going to be fireworks, so make sure you stay tuned.
It really is. And what a fun card to be the last pay-per-view of the year. Headlined by two superstars that really need this fight for very different reasons. Who do you have winning this thing?
At the end of the day, I'm going to go Merab. I don't think it's going to be an easy day at the office. But as much as people talk about chaos and being unpredictable, I do think that he's actually gotten quality ground game together with all this time with Aljamain. He's much more technical. Piotr's going to come with a lot of different weapons, and he's going to come with an attitude, but I think Merab's got this.
I definitely agree. I definitely see what you're saying about his time with Aljamain Sterling. I watched that fight with Aljamain when he moved up to featherweight. He fought Masvar Ivalov. When him and Masvar fought, that was some of the best grappling exchanges I've ever seen. I'm not even somebody that's real big on ground game and enjoys watching grappling like that. But that was some of the most beautiful exchanges I've ever seen. So if he's transitioned any of that down to Merab, Merab's coming with a bunch of tricks in his back pocket. So I've got Merab winning. Maybe I'm a little biased, maybe just a little bit. But I've got Merab winning. That's not to say it's not going to be an easy day in the office. It's going to be hard. Vegas has it, I believe, as of right now, like plus 200 for Yan. That feels a little disrespectful. Yan's a lot better than people are giving him credit for. But Merab's just on a different level right now. He's a different type of champion.
He's a fun champ. He's not ready to go anywhere. You see him out hanging out with the girls. You see him swimming. You see him doing some crazy stuff, to be completely frank. He's a lot of fun, but people underestimate his discipline. When he does weight cuts and he talks about things like smelling pizza while he's eating cucumbers or just stop eating altogether, he knows what it takes to be a great fighter. He's a really fun champ. He's not ready to let that belt go yet.
Yeah, and it kind of seems like he's kind of, going by the edge of the seat. Like everyone's kind of wanting to see what he's going to do next, and it seems like he's a wild card. But he does have discipline, for the most part, when he's in the octagon. There's a lot of jokes about the UFC is the safest thing that he does because we see videos of him scaling mountains, no harness, no nothing, or diving headfirst into a frozen lake. He's a wild man. And he's a fun fighter. Yan is also a fun guy. I love watching his technical ability. He really loves to work that body and work the hands. He's Pause. But he's a fun guy. I really like to watch him. I'm going Merab at the end of the day, but regardless who wins, this fight is big for so many reasons. As many people know, the UFC is going to the White House next year.
That's right.
The winner of this fight, especially if it's Merab, is in a really good position to call out the White House card. That's what everyone's looking for.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a really fun episode. Why don't you give us a look at what we got coming up next time?
Thanks for watching Thai Clinch MMA. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and join us next episode where we're breaking down UFC 324, where we'll see names like Sean O'Malley, Patty the Batty Pimblett, and Amanda Nunes making her comeback. We'll be talking about what these fights mean for each division, who these matchups matter for the most, and how they set the tone for the new era of UFC. We'll also be going over everything we know so far about the Paramount deal and what it could mean for the UFC moving forward.